First, I just wanted to start by publicly thanking everybody that was involved with this process. Like I said last night, 11-month process. Scouts on the road, personnel staff, our pro staff, coaches, trainers, video guys, our medical staff, doctors. There's so many team psychologists. Dr. Mike Gervais. There's so much stuff that goes into this, and it's a huge effort that we're still finishing up free agency in there right now, and rookie free agency, and just a great group effort. I'm super proud of everybody and the way it worked out, and we're very pleased with the results.
John, you guys spent 4 of your first 8 picks on the secondary. Why was that such an important focus for you guys?
It was really a defensive back heavy draft, and it's just the way the board came off. We didn't want to start just jumping players, so that's when you get in trouble, and we just really stuck to our board.
With that stretch of all the picks you had in the third round yesterday, how important going forward could that day be for you, just all the guys you had?
Yeah, I think, starting with Thursday night, I think that really set us up for a lot of things that ended up coming to fruition for us. So now we had upsets along the way, and that happens every year, and it's like a punch in the gut, but you gather yourself and you move forward. I think the biggest disappointment was the 5th round. I mean, we sat there it seemed like we were sitting there for a day and a half waiting to pick again, dude.
Great abyss.
Yeah. We're just watching players come off one by one, It was a blast.
Were you tempted to try to do things to move into that, or was there any?
Yes.
What do you like about Tedrick Thompson?
Phenomenal ball skills. I think he led the country in passes defensed, and his great feet, coverage skills, competitor. He's got really good range, really good short area quickness. He's a really interesting guy, kind of a well-rounded dude.
How about Mike Tyson?
Mike Tyson is basically fits the profile that we've been looking for since we've been here as a corner. I mean, he's a big, tough, aggressive guy that, based on what we've seen, has really good coverage skills. He's primarily played inside, played a lot of nickel for them this year, and got his hands on a lot of balls. He's got great ball skills and really, really strong in run support.
He said he's been told that he's going to get a
Corner.
outside corner.
Yeah. Yep.
How much did you see him in Cincinnati doing that?
Outside?
Yeah.
No, that's a projection. Yeah.
How
Yeah.
much did you see him doing that?
It's a projection. He
He didn't do that at all.
No, he did not do that. Yeah, he was an inside player there.
Hey, Pete,
He played nickel. He was a cover guy inside, so you got to have pretty good feet to play inside. So our hope is that he can be a press corner outside.
when you look at just the takeaway numbers on your defense and how those have declined the last few years, how much does 7 interceptions for Tedrick Thompson stand out?
Yeah, it's a big deal. He's a ball hawk, and that's a big deal. And not just the balls that he's stolen, but the ones he's knocked around, and he's always around the football. So that's a huge priority for us always. And it has to do with pass rush too. It's why we started where we started with the draft, So that was a big consideration.
Getting a couple of receivers in this draft as overall, and each sort of like bigger guys kind of thing.
Good solid guys. Darbo is a really good solid kid, and we're really fired up, about these guys. We think that David's a stud, a receiver, 219 pounds, and he runs really fast, and he's really physical. And both those guys, what I'm really excited about is they can both contribute on special teams, which all of our receivers have grown through here and been big factors on teams. And that was a theme, as we're looking at the guys that we wanted, and that we were able to hit that.
How'd you go about finding a guy like David at a school like that?
Well, Aaron Heinlein did a great job. It's his school to cover, and spent a lot of time with the kid. He was really excited about him. We brought him out here for a visit, and spent a lot of time with him. With our docs and team psychologist and the rest of our staff. And he's a really cool kid, really tough, very aggressive. Like Pete said, he's 222 pounds, running 4.43. Maybe 4.38, depends on the watch.
Do you see Tedrick playing sort of a traditional free safety role for you guys starting
Yeah,
there?
that's where we'll start him out, and we'll see what happens from there.
When you see a player like Mike Tyson that you project could make a change, what did you see in his play as a safety that fits at corner?
His feet. his length, he's got 32.5-inch arms. He's almost 6'2". He's just and he's got really cool feet, really good movement skills, feel for routes, and then the ball skills, being able to reach for the ball upon contact.
Do the coverage skills at safety translate to the coverage skills at corner, or are those completely different skill sets?
It depends on the athlete. The guys that have been in the slot and played on guys, it really tells us something, which Hill has done that as well. He's been a guy that's covered a lot of slots. It just shows you their versatility and comfort with working with the quicker, smaller guys. But there's, these guys are all different. They have their own style of athleticism, their own makeup, and we, after all of these years looking at it, we try to determine if a guy fits, and it doesn't always work out. We're free to go ahead and move it around. I would not at all mind seeing what Delano did covering wide receivers on line of scrimmage. He's as big and strong as he is too. So there's always kind of a portion of the process where we're looking at them in their coverage aspect of it, just to see so we don't miss it, because it's so important to find those guys.
Any positive surprises, guys that were there that really shocked you that are still available?
I don't know.
No, I think it was such a long wait for us. We had so many big gaps that. No,
I was hanging on Chris Carson. He's a guy that I found looking through the stuff late in the draft, kind of like we've done over the years. And I really love this guy because he's so physical and tough the way he ran. You haven't heard a whole lot about him. He doesn't run the ball a lot, but when he did, he to me made a great statement of his style and a style that we really coveted.
Second half of the season he really came on.
The same sort of thing you liked about Rawls. When you saw him,
It's really the same kind of formula. That we got to him. I kind of caught on to him late, and I fell in love with how tough he is and how aggressive he is, and that's something that kind of falls in that same category. And we didn't want to miss him. There was a lot of activity around him, we thought, and so we got him with that last shot there.
It said he didn't have a single fumble, I think, at Oklahoma State. How pivotal was something like that?
It's all part of it. It's all part of it. Yeah, he's really aggressive. I mean, he hammers it, and you guys, I think you guys are really going to like him when you see him.
Yeah, his plate wasn't, totally full. He had 80-some carries, but when he came back at the end of the season, he knew. You could see the urgency, and that's what Pete's talking about.
There's a little story there. He was one of the top junior college kids coming out when he wound up going to Okie State, and didn't make the transition the first year. It took him some time. Then he got banged up going into his last year, and so when he finally got his chance, he really tore it up.
Justin Senior, what do you see out of him, and where do you see?
Justin had a much better junior year than he did senior year. Great kid. He's from Montreal, and very well spoken, very smart, very, very good pass protector. He got a little heavy for his senior year, and he's probably, that's probably something that we're gonna have to monitor here when he gets in here, and that's why he went so late. But he's got a lot of tools to work with. He just, needs to decide if he wants to be a player or not.
Plus, we've had a lot of luck with Canadian kids.
We couldn't go through a draft without taking a Canadian guy. Luke was bombing us, and so was John Ryan.
His testing numbers were kind of down this year. Do you think that was effective?
Yeah, his junior year he played at 295 pounds, and his senior year he played about 315, 317, something like that. And then he continued to climb a little bit. He's got a lot, like I said, he's got a lot of talent. Did not have a great Senior Bowl week, and knows that. I think this is probably a pretty cool wake-up call for him. Being selected where he was selected, because, like I said, I mean he's and it scores with the coaches, the way they do it and everything. His pass protection's phenomenal.
Will he begin on the left side?
We're gonna move him on both sides. He's finished it right. We're gonna probably start him on the left side.
I saw some numbers for David Moore, his bench press reps.
Yeah.
Really strong. Really strong.
Yeah, I mean he looks like you physically, Dan. This guy's amazing. Even when he ran his 40, he put his tie around his head. It's crazy. Yeah. No, he is a strapped up guy now. Really good looking. I mean, physically, he's physically a really good looking guy.
Kind of like Dan, right? Yeah. Very much.
Pete, you've talked about wanting to get younger, competition, all that stuff. With 11 draft picks plus undrafted, I mean, you have a big crop of.
Yeah, this is the way the whole draft turned out. I said it last night about John maneuvering around to get us the picks. It's great to have 11 guys, coming on this draft class. We're really excited about what happened in free agency as well, and to blend this all together. We're always trying to make this roster more and more competitive in every way we can, and these guys are coming into battle, and it's a really good. Our guys will all feel it. It's good for all of us. It makes us all better.
I mean, we were just battling just now. Like we had a guy.
Yeah, tell me about Roos.
Roos from Purdue. He's a guard center. Like I think he benched like 42 times or something like that. We're really excited to get him. He was a guy that was a draftable player, and
yeah, that was a really exciting get. That might have been one of the bright spots we nailed him in free agency.
We were trying to decide if we should take him or not take him, and so we just found that out before we came in here. Pretty excited.
Yeah.
I'm not sure we're supposed to share that, Dave.
Probably not.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm glad I didn't do that.
Yeah.
Back on Thursday night, when you
We came to an agreement, like in terms, principle.
Yeah.
back Thursday night when you traded down, did you have a pretty good idea what Green Bay would do for next day, the first round, right in front of you?
We knew it was one of three players, so that's why we felt comfortable being able to go where we went.
On your phone call with Malik at the end, you said, "Don't forget our conversation." Just kind of what were you referring to there?
Malik.
Now, first pick.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're going back to Thursday night. I'm like, we ain't drafting anybody named Malik today. Well, we had him in for a visit. We had a great talk in my office, and then I called him, a little bit before we selected him as well, just to make sure we were all on the same page.
Pete, you said at the end of last season that linebacker was a spot you wanted to look at to get a little bit better at this offseason. Do you feel like you were able to handle that with Will Hoyt and Garvin and Brown? You didn't draft one throughout the weekend. So.
Yes. Yeah, I think that was a great get for us and those guys. Those guys are all competent players, special teams guys, smart guys, tough guys. They fit right in. And it allowed us in the draft where we thought John was, maneuvering, knowing what was coming, and so we hit it there and said, I think that was great.
Yeah, it kind of really ended up hurting us in rookie free agency,
Yeah.
based on what you're saying, because they're,
They could see a bunch of
the
guys.
agents and different people they talk to have respect for the players that we signed. So
Safe to say you'll be bringing in an undrafted guy at quarterback too?
quarterback,
Yeah.
yes,
Safe to say.
yeah, and we'll have some guys in as workout guys as well, tryout guys.
Pete, John was saying this is a talent-ridden defensive back draft. How do you like the new dynamic now with bringing in four?
Yeah, I think it'd be really fun to see how these guys fit in. They're all real competitive guys. They've all been great players in their programs. We'll see how they fit in with our guys, but it's a very competitive room, and we would not take guys that weren't going to be able to handle that. So we think that they're going to add to it, and also what our guys have done a great job of, our older guys have done a great job of mentoring, and we're going to count on that as well. And we'll see how they do, and it should be very competitive. We're going to have a great battle just in the mini camp, with the young guys on both sides, right, receivers and DBs. So it's should be a very good group.
Do you feel like this is a better roster today than maybe this time a year ago? And if so, like where or why or how?
Let me say, John, I feel strong about it. Yeah, I think we've the linebacker help, the offensive line help. Look what we've done. We've done some great stuff up front to make it more competitive. We've boosted the competition, obviously at the DB room, but also at the receiver side of it. So it's going to be the things that have happened in free agency as well as in the draft. So I feel like it's really going to be a competitive go, and also you don't want to miss the D-line thing. Those two guys are going to be a big deal to us, and making it harder for everybody, and that's good.
It's not. This is just one aspect of acquisition. It happens to be the biggest and the most well covered. I mean, we don't stop. Like we compete at every corner. There's no finish line. So we're going to continue to evaluate the guys we have. All the guys are coming in as tryout guys. We've signed many. You guys have seen us sign our tryout guys as, with the rookie mini camp as well, and then we'll head into the post June 1 area and see if there's cap casualty guys involved, and then we get to the 53 and see if anybody's cut there that can help us, and so it really, quite frankly, never stops.
when you signed Bradley McDougal, you were mentioning you might have some more flexibility with your sub packages and stuff. Do the guys you signed or you drafted in these past couple of days kind of add to that a little bit with that versatility?
Yeah, that could happen. We have to wait and see. Got to get him on the field first, but Delano Hill really he's got a lot of range here. He can do some different things because of the stuff that he's done, in coverage and all that. We'll see how it works out. We're really fired up about Bradley, though. I think he's a really good player.
Was running back, an awful lot of running backs, more anyway than I think we had last year at this time. Was that a priority, just bring in a lot of running backs and sort of?
Well, we kind of, last year with the guys that got banged up, we kind of accumulated a big number, the guys that we had during the course of the season, we kind of hung with them, and, but yeah, it's a good number right now.
We're all focusing on this year's crop, but is there a guy maybe from last year's draft class that you see making a big role for himself next year?
Bunch of them.
Yeah, really, I think we're really counting on that. George and Fetty and the guys
Reese.
that started, Reese. We thought Reese was a heck of a player in the draft last year. We still believe that, and he's really ready to compete to start and play. So that's
Nick.
Nick at tight end for sure.
CJ looks.
Yeah.
I mean, we just gotta get these guys out there. I mean, the coaches haven't even been able to put their hands on them yet, but I mean, these are guys that you would expect once they make the turn would have an
We
upside.
get Quentin back too. So it's we
Quentin
really,
Jefferson.
that whole turn that we think is coming is going to be a real boost as well. We're excited about that.
Pete, I don't know if we talked to you since you guys signed Deontay Jordan. Just you personally, where do you see him fitting in?
We're going to play him at 5 technique and fit him into the rush group and see how it goes. He's got a lot of potential, a lot of talent. He's still coming off some injury stuff. He's got to get well. It might take us a while to be able to figure that out, but a very dynamic player. He's grown a lot. He's 280-something pounds now, where he played, last time he played was about 250. So he's become a bigger man. We're going to see how that all works out. Hopefully there's a big upside there.
Could that help him move inside at times?
It can, yeah. He did that some. He's done a variety of things at Miami and shown a lot of versatility. He has been over the guards in pass rush at times. He's done some dropping as well. So he's a very talented player. But now that he is in a little bit different mode, at 280s, we'll just see. We got to get him on the field again, see where it fits.
John, a unique situation kind of guy in Cyril Grayson. How did you guys kind of find him too and bring him in a couple weeks ago? And how do you see him fit into this?
Yeah, Ed Dodds worked him out, took him to dinner the night before the LSU workout, and Ed has great connections down there and had guys bragging to him about what he looked like at receiver, and he had seen him, like a YouTube video of him, it's like a highlight film or something like that. He's an incredible track athlete, and so he was part of the workout that day, and Ed just did a great job of digging on it and finding out that he was not eligible for the draft, and so we flew him up that next morning after he ran 4.32 and 4.35, and got him physical and signed him that night.
It's like John's always saying, either competing or you're not.
I always say that.
It's your slogan, right?
Yeah. I actually made it up. I gave it to Pete when I got here.
In the big view, what did you think your biggest accomplishment was here last season?
I would say we feel really blessed to be able to move back, take our guy, and acquire a couple more picks. That's probably the biggest accomplishment.
With the guys
And then we followed our board, offensively, defensively. There's so much work that goes into this. This isn't like we just, turn on YouTube videos and watch them and here we go. There's a lot of. It's not just the evaluation. It's it's not just the football evaluation. It's a psychological aspect. It's a medical. Our sports science guys do a great job trying to project durability, longevity. So being able to just sit there and pick players follow our board, I think that's probably the biggest.
Although sometimes you find them on YouTube, right? Like with the track guy, If we
Yeah,
have
yeah,
to,
I mean,
if you have to,
If you have to go back, yeah.
we'll go there, whatever.
Hey, Pete,
It's a heck of a hurdler.
Skylar Howard, you mentioned.
Hey, you're here, brother.
He,
First question.
Yeah, first
Is that a beast mode hat?
No, Holy City.
No. Okay, sorry.
Skylar Howard, you mentioned undrafted quarterback Skylar
Beast
Howard.
mode.
Howard tweeted that he signed with you guys. What can you tell us about him as a quarterback?
He's a mad bomber, man. He threw a ton of deep balls.
He does throw a good deep
yeah,
ball.
he goes downtown. You know, a real resourceful kid, active on the field, moves around well, but he can bomb it. And he hooked up a bunch this past season. It was all over the highlights.
With the linemen you added in draft and free agency and their flexibility, just how interesting will the competition be because you have so many options, different combinations and things like that?
Yeah, you know, getting Ethan was really an important part of this because we really thought like I said, you know, he had the most versatility. We'll see how that works out, but we do know that, you know, he can do some backup stuff, whether we feature him at the spot, and then the center thing is really, really connected to us, and we like that. But he's played on both sides of the line of scrimmage and all that, so we're going to fit it together with the thought that in time we'll get it worked out. So that's a real positive for us going in. You know, we're not feeling like we're stuck or we're forced to do anything right now. Fetty's going to play some tackle for us. We're going to see how that looks, and
Thank you.
we're going to really put this thing together. It's going to be interesting to see how Luke fits in. Luke is a terrific football player. We're very fortunate to have him. He's not quite healthy yet. When we get to phase 3, he won't be able to practice much, but in the next couple weeks he'll do some stuff on the field and start to show us. He's been a starting left tackle in the league and drafted to do that, and he's been a starting left guard. Gives us great flexibility there, too. We'll see how George develops and all that. So it's going to be really exciting to put this thing together.
And with Fetty, would it be accurate to say you guys are going to give him a look there, but you're not necessarily committed to?
Well, we're going to do what we got to do. You know, yeah, we're going to definitely give him a look there and see what it looks like. John was really, you know, directed at him being a right tackle as we drafted him and knowing that he could play right guard. It worked out to try it that way last year, and so now we have the benefit of being able to move him out, which could be awesome to make him, you know, our right tackle. So it'll be great.
Anything else? Thank you.
All right, thank you guys.
See you guys.
Thanks for dealing with us all weekend.
Good.